A very good afternoon to all the students who are present today for the online lecture of second year BCom semester 3 for the subject management. Students, I warmly welcome one and all. Now, as you all know that in so many lectures we have been discussing topics all about the second unit of management, that is to say the recent techniques in human resource management. We have been discussing all the different contents so far that you can see up on the slide. And in the previous lecture, we have been discussing about a topic that was the continuous process improvement. In the previous live lecture, we discussed about the topic of CPI, that is to say, what is the meaning of continuous process improvement. Not only that, we also discussed about the objectives of continuous process improvement. So in today's lecture, I shall be giving you again a recap of continuous process improvement with its objectives, and thereafter we begin the discussion of the limitations of CPI, and we shall be understanding the concept of lean as a whole. So let us begin, students. Yesterday in the lecture, I had explained you all about the meaning of CPI, that is the full form continuous process improvement. I told you about the concept that how every organization works for continuous improvement in its processes or in its operations. Everybody involved in the organization is doing some or the other task, is performing some or the other job or activity, and wants to work for its continuous improvement, tries to bring a change based on the changing business environment to do something better. We have discussed how the external environment and the internal environment keeps on changing. Some things are within the control of the organization, while some things are not even within the control of the organization. But everybody involved has to bring about some or the other change in whatever activity they perform. It is to be done on a continuous basis. They have to bring changes for the betterment, and thereby the process is known as a continuous process improvement. I also explained you that it has been developed from the Japanese concept Kaizen, that is to say, to change for something better. You are incrementally or you are continuously bringing some sort of improvement in whatever process, whatever operation, whatever activity you are performing. The person who is performing that activity is best at identifying the changes and thereby making the same, implementing the same. So it is a continuous improvement process, an ongoing effort to improve the products, services, or the processes. We discussed that how a problem solving process should be a structured one rather than an unstructured one, should not be based on any sort of guesswork or intuition. Yesterday I also talked about a topic that was synergy, that is to say 2 plus 2 is not 4 but more than 4 over here. When everybody involved in the organization tries to bring about minor improvements in whatever task they are performing, ultimately as a whole, when these improvements get accumulated, they bring a tremendous gain for the organization over the long run. Even Deming, that is Edward Deming, regarded even as the father of TQM, believed that quality improvement is a universal activity and that it is the responsibility of everyone in the organization, whether from the bottom level, middle level, or even the top level executive. Thereby, students, in the syllabus, you have objectives and the limitations of continuous process improvement. In the previous lecture, that is yesterday, we had discussed about all the 8 objectives one by one. So I shall just be giving you a quick recap for the same, and thereby quickly we begin with the limitations also. These were the objectives of continuous process improvement as to why it should be undertaken. So number one, it was to align the continuous improvement with the strategic objectives. I had explained to you that whenever any individual in the organization is working for continuous process improvement, it should be to achieve the strategic objectives. Strategic objectives have to prove as a litmus test for deciding whether what should be done and how it should be done. Ultimately, whatever an individual does in an organization and whenever he tries to improve on that, it should be aligned towards the long term goals of an organization. Number two, I had explained to you that one needs to make the use of the best practices out of different methodologies. There are different techniques, different methods of TQM. So you cannot be just using only one method. Thereby, you would diminish your innovation and you become rigid. So for continuous process improvement, try to make use of more than one methods and adopt the best method for the same. Number three, we also talked about how one should focus on data. That is to say, whenever an individual is trying to improve his task, he's trying to bring change in whatever he does, he needs to focus on reliable and accurate data for the same. Whenever you take a decision to change or to improve, you should pay attention that the decisions are data driven. They are based on reliable and accurate data so that whatever you perform leads to success and not a failure. Number four, acknowledgement of problems. So we also discussed that you need to acknowledge the problems. Whenever an organization works for continuous process improvement, we have to acknowledge any sort of criticism coming our way, any sort of feedback that is received maybe from the customers. We need to analyze the problems that we are facing or may face in future. We cannot just stay stagnant and we should not refuse to believe that there is nothing wrong and whatever is performed is right. We need to avoid this sort of a mentality and thereby we need to ask for any sort of problem that is coming our way, maybe in the services, maybe in the products, maybe in the staff or even marketing, and thereby we have to seek ways how we need to make them better, how the problems are to be removed, how criticism has to be accepted constructively, and thereby instead of remaining stagnant we need to bring changes to avoid the problems and to accept the criticism. Thereby, students, number five, I had explained to you that success of continuous improvement often leads to great success for the company that utilizes its philosophy. Definitely, it is a continuous, I can say, philosophy, and it leads to success for that organization too. You cannot be just booming success overnight, but definitely through continuous process improvement, you are recognizing the areas which require improvement. Thereby, you also implement those changes. So, definitely, it will lead to the success of the organization as a whole. Number six, it also increases teamwork. So, we had discussed how everybody is involved, everybody is focused towards improvement in whatever task they are performing. So, definitely leads to teamwork of the employees in the organization as a whole. Number seven, I had explained to you that continuous process improvement increases the adaptability because we talked about how things are changing in the external environment. When things change externally, even an organization needs to adopt some opportunities provided or also needs to avoid the threats posed by the external environment. Through continuous process improvement, you can bring about changes continuously and you can adapt to the changing business environment. Thereby, you try to bring changes in your own processes and you try to bring a continuous improvement in the same. Instead of becoming rigid, you try to become much more flexible. And number eight, I also talked about how CPI can bring increased productivity. But students, I hope you remember, it was in the long run. We were not talking about the short term improvement because whenever we talk about CPI or we talk about bringing changes, improvising on something new, you need to or you may have to shut down the production for a while because you have introduced maybe a new machine, a new technique, maybe new staff with their skills. So maybe in the short run, the production is lost, but definitely in the long run, it will result into increased productivity and thereby increased profitability as well. So students, I hope you understood what we discussed yesterday in the live lecture. In case you were absent for that, you have got an idea what we covered yesterday. With this, students, we begin with the new topic for the day. We are learning continuous process improvement, and now we have to understand the limitations of CPI also. There are some drawbacks, there are some setbacks, even for the concept of continuous process improvement. So let us understand them one by one. Number one that you see demands a change in the culture. Now, what do you mean by culture, my students? Culture could be a set of value, beliefs, ethics, maybe discipline, the rules and regulations that a person is following in an organization. So, whenever we are talking about continuous process improvement, and that we want everybody has to be focused for that, everybody has to try to change in a better way whatever they are doing, continuously improving the process, operations, or any task, whatever a person does. You also need to bring a change in the culture. You need to bring a change in the attitude of the employees, bringing a change in the organizational culture that increases the teamwork, makes the employees much more focused for their task, what they perform, and focused towards continuously improving the same. But it sometimes becomes quite hesitant on the part of employees too. So, definitely, it demands a change in the culture. That is a limitation. So, continuous improvement demands an organizational culture that focuses on continuous process improvement and customer satisfaction. It requires a change of attitude and reprioritization of daily operations. You want employees to be more active towards customer satisfaction, towards improving the process continuously. So you need to bring about a change in their attitude, and thereby how would you reprioritize their daily operations? The priorities change due to CPI. So it requires a long-term management commitment and a constant employee involvement. On one hand, you want commitment from the management as well, and on the other hand, you also want every employee to be involved in continuous process improvement. According to Forbes, even changing an organization's culture is a difficult challenge because culture amalgamates an interlocking set of values, processes, attitudes, communication, practice, roles, goals, and assumptions, and is often met by resistance by the employees who view it as a threat to their jobs. Sometimes employees are in their own comfort zone and they feel whatever they are doing is correct. They don't want to change, they become hesitant to bringing changes in them continuously. So for this, the culture has to be changed, the attitude of the employees has to be changed, and this is a difficult task and thereby becomes a limitation for continuous process improvement. Thereby, students, number two that you see, it also demands planning, time, and resources. I very well explained to you previously that whenever we take a decision to change or to improve continuously on whatever task we do, it should be a planned one, it should be a structured one, should be based on some reliable and accurate data. Otherwise, it will lead to a failure. So it will require planning, it will require time too, and resources. You cannot just introduce something new. It will require some resources to be used whatsoever. So definitely it is a time consuming, a resource consuming task. Good continuous improvement system often take years to implement, and that occurs only after significant planning, time, and long-term resource allocation, also unwavering management commitment. We always want the management to be committed towards continuous process improvement. Their support should always be there for the employees. Then only you can have an engaging workforce too. If you don't do it with proper planning, it will definitely lead the continuous improvement system to ultimately fail. So students, when you want continuous process improvement, when you are working for improvising your tasks continuously, you are planning to bring changes in that for betterment, you need to plan it. You need to take decisions based on data, accurate data, and it may take even a longer time period to do so, because whatever you want to do should be correct, should be reliable. It should not be done in a haphazard manner or in a hurried manner. So it will require planning and it will require the use of sufficient time and resources. Moving ahead, The third limitation that you see, quality is expensive. Now we are talking about quality, we are talking about continuous improvement in the same. It is expensive too. When you talk about improvising in quality, it may happen that you need to adopt some new methods, some new techniques. You may be even introducing some new machinery or adopting a new technology. You try and collect data from the customers too in the form of feedback. So these things are expensive. Continuous improvement is expensive to implement. The implementation often comes with additional training costs, team development cost, infrastructural improvement cost, consultant fees, and the like. When we are talking about quality improvement, first and foremost, your employees have to be trained to do so. It will require training and development programs and thereby increasing the cost of the same. The system also requires continuous improvement in the form of the refresher trainings, the process and the machine inspections, quality measurement. So, continuous improvement is not suitable for very small companies because its implementation, training, and execution costs far supersede its financial gains. At times, it happens, as I said, in the short run, the benefits are not achieved, but it is only in the long run that the benefits from CPI can be achieved. So, in the short run, it may happen that while you are implementing the continuous process improvement, the training and the execution costs have far exceeded the gains which you will receive from it financially. Because, as I said, the benefits take time to reap in case of continuous process improvement. So, definitely, the concept is an expensive one, and so it will not be much suitable for very small companies. Number four, it takes years to show the results. We just saw that implementing continuous process improvement will take a long time to show the results. When you have even implemented the concept, it takes a long time for even showing whether the results are better or not. So, as I said, it gives you results, it helps you reap benefits in terms of productivity, profitability only in the long run. In the short run, maybe you will have to face enough of financial burdens rather than financial gains. So, continuous improvement is a long term process that shows results only after years have passed. It requires perseverance, patience, dedication, and motivation. Many organizations give up on it after failing to see the tangible results quickly. Organizations that function in a highly competitive environment cannot afford the luxury of time. So definitely it is a long-term process. After years, you can see whether results have come or not. So it will require diligence. It will require persistence from the organization and the employees side as well. You cannot just wait for the tangible results to come. They may not show quickly. You need to move on, and it will show you in a period of long time. And lastly, it discourages creativity because it has some standardized tasks already which people have to follow consistently. So it will discourage the creativity, the innovation, maybe the new ideas on the part of employees. So thereby, when they are following something very standardized, the creativity gets discouraged. So students, with this, we finish the concept of continuous process improvement. We have been discussing concepts such as total quality management, in which we have understood one more concept, cornering TQM, that is your continuous process improvement. We have understood its objectives. We have also understood its limitations. Now, students, we move on to a new topic for the day, that is to say, lean management. Again, I can say that it is a concept pertaining to, or it is a concept similar to continuous improvement itself. Basically, it is an approach only to run an organization that is supporting the continuous improvement philosophy. I can say that the organizations who are actually working for continuous improvement are nothing but the lean organizations. So, again, lean management, very simple to understand. It is similar, that it is also focused on an incremental, a continuous improvement over time, so that you can increase the efficiency, you can increase the quality, thereby you try to reduce the waste, you try to reduce any sort of unproductive activity. So basically, even the lean management, or I can say the lean organizations, focus on customer satisfaction by continuously bringing on the improvement, by maximizing the value of the product that is received to the customer without compromising on the quality, and thereby minimizing the wastage in the process too. So when you have already understood with the total quality management, you have understood the continuous process improvement, lean management is nothing different and very easy to understand now. So it is an approach, as I said, to running an organization that supports the concept of continuous improvement, where an organization is focused towards continuous improvement, brings about improvement in its processes, operations on a continuous basis. They are nothing but lean organizations. It is an ongoing effort to improve the products, services, or the processes, which requires incremental improvement over time in order to increase the efficiency and the quality. As you can see, it is an incremental improvement. It is not a one-time show, it is not a quick fix, but you have to work for continuous improvement so that you meet with the customer's expectations by increasing the efficiency and the quality. It uses the methods for eliminating factors that wastes the time, effort, or the money. You want to avoid any sort of unproductive activity that can lead to a waste, thereby accomplishing by analyzing a business process. You have to analyze a process, you have to revise it, that is to say you have to work on its continuous improvement, or you can cut down any step that is not creating value for the customer. So one hand, minimize the activities which are leading to a wastage, and maximize the activities which creates value for the customer. It refers to a technique developed with the aim of minimizing the process waste, as I said, and maximize the value of the product or the service to the customer without compromising the quality. It focuses on delivering value to the customers. You have to try and bring continuous improvement in the process, in the business operations, in such a manner that the wastage gets reduced and the value to the customer tends to get increased. By reducing the waste and by improving the customer satisfaction, the lean process saves companies money and improves the overall profitability. Because definitely the employees, when they work for continuous improvement, when they work for lean concept, the customers will definitely be satisfied, their expectations will be met, and it will lead to increased profitability for the organization as a whole. So students, I hope you understood the concept of lean management as to how it works on the concept of continuous improvement, improvising the products, services, or the processes continuously by increasing the quality and by minimizing any activity that creates wastage and does not add value for the customer. With this, we shall now be doing the final topic for the day for the lecture. We shall be understanding some common characteristics which are applicable to all the lean organizations. As to when an organization is following the lean concept, what are the different characteristics that it has to abide by? So the first one that you see, the lean organizations are focused. When I say focused, they are obsessed with customer value. They all are focused towards increasing the value received by the customer. Everybody in the organization, whether an employee, whether a manager, whether an executive, they all are focused only towards increased customer satisfaction. So whatever decision they are taken, it will always involve an assessment as to how will it impact the customer. So basically, they are focused on increasing the activities that will add value for the customer and minimizing those which will lead to a wastage. Number two, it is aligned. That is to say, in lean organizations, every member is understanding the organizational mission, value, the organizational goals. So, whatever they are doing, whichever way they are trying to improve the process or they are trying to improve the product or the service, it has to be aligned with the organizational goals. Number three, humble. That is to say, in lean organization or in the lean concept, it believes that there is always a room for improvement. We discussed the same even in the concept of Kaizen, that even after continuous improvement, there is still a scope of doing something better in that. You can still improvise on it on a continuous basis. So there are always endless opportunities to improve. You always have a chance to improve at whatever you are doing and do it even in a best way. Number four, it is collaborative. That is to say, you need to have the cross functional teams, you need to have collaboration and communication among the employees so that you can tackle the challenges very easily. You should have people who are sharing the knowledge, who are sharing the experiences across the organization for a company wide improvement. So basically, it happens only when people are working in a collaborative manner where there is no barrier to communication, and thereby they can work for increasing activities that adds value to the customer, thereby increasing continuous improvement. Number five, it also is characterized by an engaging workforce. That is to say, everybody in the organization, every employee is invested, is engaged in the improvement whatsoever. You require employees' engagement in the improvement. Everybody doing whatever task in the organization has to work for its improvement, has to work on how the customer value can be increased, how the products, services, and the processes can be improvised. Number six, we have discussed earlier also that it also follows some methods. One needs to follow the best method for lean concept as to how the improvement can take place. The methods should be simple, should be consistent also across the organization, but there are some methods behind your improvement work which will drive long-term success in a lean organization. Number seven has to be proactive. That is to say, should help the employees tackle the challenges, tackle the problems even before they arise. There should be such a culture, such a good communicative culture where employees can feel safe to speak up and they can also take the time to make improvements along the way. The managers don't oversee every process and they are able to notice the failure that takes place. Here, the quality of the end product is not tested, but here we are reviewing the process, every step of that process, and thereby, if one can predict any sort of a problem, it can be prevented before it actually occurs. And it happens only when you have an engaging workforce for that. So basically, lean organizations inspect the processes and they are not inspecting the products. So they would prevent the problem, they would prevent the wastage even before it will happen. They do so so that the final product comes out to be a defect free product and of the ultimate, the best quality. And it happens only when you have a committed management and an engaged workforce. Number eight, it is documented, meaning to say the standard task or the standard work is generally documented and it is accessible to all. It can be continually reviewed in the lean organizations. It creates certain kind of a uniform process and everybody can follow the same, but that is not the ultimate goal. That is not something which cannot be improved. That actually becomes a starting point for everybody. That becomes the base for everybody. Now people have to improve even on that level. They have to work how to go beyond that level too. So it just means that the current best practice has been identified, it has been documented, it has been shared. Now people are expected how to use this as a starting point and thereby work on its future improvement. Number nine, very importantly, it is resilient. That is to say, resilience in the lean organization, it is the ability to anticipate the trouble spots and improve whenever the unexpected occurs. You are already able to identify the errors for correction, so you can at the same time even innovate the solutions. Of course, possible through employees' engagement, as mentioned earlier also. But here we are able to solve the problems, tackle them even before they arise. Number 10, it is quite progressive now. It is in the sense that continuous improvement takes place with the support of technology too. We have engaged workforce, we have support from the management, but still it would require the backing of technology as well to see to it that the things are done at the least time and in the best possible manner. So it is a progressive philosophy. And lastly, number 11, the lean concept is quite grateful too. In order to have a lean culture, employees must feel valued. They must feel recognized for whatever contributions they have made. Then only they also feel good for working for continuous improvement. So at least they should be appraised, they should be appreciated for whatever task they are performing. One should be grateful for the same. Then only you can always have an engaging workforce. So students, I hope you got clear with today's lecture. We have understood, we have revised the concept of continuous process improvement with its objectives. I have also explained to you the limitations of CPI, and thereafter we have started with a new concept, that is lean management. Of course, the concept is not over yet. We have only understood its concept, that is to say the meaning of lean management, as to how one works for continuous improvement, increasing value for the customer, and reducing the waste. There is a lot more to be done in lean management, such as the principles have to be done. So students, I hope you understood all whatever we have covered in today's lecture. In case you have any doubts, feel free to ask in the Google Classroom and I shall be answering to them at the earliest. I hope you are aware that your assignments are going to begin, for which the syllabus is the first unit and the notes have already been shared. So kindly read the same, and see you soon in the next lecture where we shall be going further with the concept of lean management. Thank you so much for the day, students, and until then, happy learning.